Good morning, everyone. Does it work? Can you hear us? Yeah? Okay, all right. We're going to be able to start in a few minutes now, and Norris will catch up, and the rest of the day will be right on time. Welcome, everyone.
We are pleased to welcome you today. My name is Oksana.
Yeah, I'm Lucien, and will be your host for today.
Yes.
Yeah. So take your seat.
Welcome.
You can sit in the alley as well. That work. Yeah. We have like the prime seat here. Yeah. All right. Just a check if we are online as well. Is it live? Yeah, it works. All right. Gonna check. Yeah, I think we're good to start this first ever Nocode Summit. And you want to introduce our first speaker? I can do it.
Yes, please.
Yes, so I'm very happy to welcome to the stage the president of the SFPN, so the organizing committee for today, the French Union of Nocode Professionals, Christelle Curcio. Please welcome to the stage.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here today. Thank you all for being here also, here and online. So yeah, I'm Christelle, president of the French Trade Association of Nocode Professionals, also known as SFPN. I am also co-founder and VP at Alegria Group. Just before we start, I would like to share some words about SFPN, because you will hear a lot this name today and tomorrow. SFPN is the organizer of the Nocode Summit. It is a grouping of Nocode agencies, software editors, schools, and freelancers. As of today, 20 companies joined us. Its goal is to promote the Nocode in France, but also abroad. And the SFPN is open to every company which have a representative activity in France, so you're all welcome to join us. One of our main actions is the creation and the organization of this event, the Nocode Summit. And for that, I am very proud today. Proud to see all of you coming for this very first exceptional event, all gathered around Nocode. Today, I can officially announce that we reach more than 1,000 registered people, both online and here. So, yeah. It is the first time an independent Nocode event is so big and brings people from all over the world. We have people here from Japan, India, UK, USA, and many European countries also. All the most innovative software editors are also here today, like Bubble, Glide, Make, Microsoft, Softr, Stacker, Wiglot, WeWeb, and so many more. Almost 1 year ago, I remember we thought of the idea of creating this event. A big thing, a worldwide thing, with the goal to gather every Nocode professional. And they said, "You are crazy." And plot twist, yeah, we are crazy actually, but we are also here today. In Paris, the capital of Nocode, right?
Yes.
So it matters. We are here to celebrate, to evangelize, to push Nocode at another level. And of course, to meet each other, because it is time now. The world has changed so quickly, especially after the pandemic we endured. Things, morals, technology are evolving more quickly than ever. Companies are changing their way of doing business. People are being more active in their online lives more than ever. You know that, we all know that here. But Nocode gives people superpowers. Nocode has the power to bring everyone all together. but the real thing here, and the reason we are standing here now. It is because Nocode is not just a trend. It is a profound change in our lives. It's a major progress for us, for society. So thank you for being here, because you are empowering Nocode. And also, I need to thank a lot of people who made this event happen now. Thank you for all the people who worked on the Nocode Summit, because we wouldn't be here today without them. Please give them a round of applause. Also, thanks to all the sponsors for their strong support. Thanks to the members of the SFPN who contributed with their team to the organization of this event, like Alegria Group, Cube, Codestore, NovaBricks, NC-Scale, and also Make, who helped us. Thanks to the Cloud Business Center for welcoming us these 2 days. And now, please also give a round of applause to all the invisible people who worked, for all the volunteers with the T-shirt Nocode Summit, and a warm thank you and special thank to Clément, Lucien, and Clara. Thank you very much to you. And just before leaving the stage to Pierre, the Nocode Summit is about 2 days of full keynotes, workshops, networking, meetings. I want to cheer all the speakers who accepted to be here, who will speak today and tomorrow, and especially women who will be on stage these 2 days to talk about their expertise, their knowledge. It is not an easy exercise, so we are still not enough. Just being on stage and talk about what you do definitely inspire other women to come. So big up to you also. And now it's time for me to introduce you to Pierre, the co-founder and CEO of Cube, who will share figures of the French no-code market. Thank you.
No, it's not working. Now? Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much for being here. You're so many. What an achievement. My name is Pierre Launay. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Cube, and I'm very proud to be here in front of all of you. As Christelle said, it's a very specific and very special moment, because 6 months ago, when we discussed about it with Francis at Alegria, Bertrand, Maxime at Code.Pierre, you can't miss them, they are the pink one. It was just an idea. It was just a project, a crazy one, and we say, yeah, let's do it. We'll organize this. And dozens of people joined the project. The SFPN was the common value, the common organization to make it possible. And now you're here. So let me just appreciate the moment, because it's just amazing. Thank you very much for being here. So if Paris is the capital of no-code for 2 days, I wanted to share with you some key figures. The key figures that have been the result of a survey, the occurrence survey, and organized by the SFPN that we sent to all of you last week to grasp a little bit more what is exactly the population of this first no-code summit, what are the challenges that you are all shared, and that we'll discuss during all the workshops and the main stage during 2 days. So the first key that I want to share with you is that we are a majority of agencies, 40%, and freelancers and training organizations during this first Nocode Summit. We have a quarter of publishers and a quarter of corporations, so I don't know exactly what will be in the next year, but for this first Nocode Summit, this is what you'll find if you move booth from booth. And you have a majority of you that are thinking that Nocode has already eaten the web development. And for the rest of you, it's not that it's not the case, but it will be. So there is a big hope, and there is still a reality now of this tremendous revolution that we are talking about. But, because there is a but, even if no-code tools are much more accessible for a lot of people, tech, non-tech profile, it's a pain to hire people in this new field and these new technologies. So we have to train people, we have to push the expertise of no-code, because we truly think that no-code is not equal to no expertise, and make this a new technology a real professional field. And I wanted to share with you last key figures about 3 main challenges that you share and you want answers about them. It's security, governance, and performance. And I'm pretty sure that during the 2 days of all the main stage workshop, you'll have answers. And if it's not answers, it will be reflection, discussion. So thank you very much. Enjoy this first edition of Nocode Summit. And now I will let the floor to Christelle to introduce the first main stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pierre. It's really nice to have actual figures of the market. So please let me welcome on stage now our 4 featured speakers for the first panel. Let's start with Mariam from Softr. She's co-founder and CEO of Softr. We have Fabian, CEO from Make. Emmanuel, CEO of Bubble. And Francis, co-founder and CEO of Alegria Group. So, how are you? Great? You had a good trip coming to Paris?
Can you hear us?
Is it working?
Can you hear us?
Each one of you have a mic?
Yeah, that's working, right?
It's okay.
Okay.
Test,
Francis,
test.
Yeah, it's
Fabian?
working.
Does it work?
Mariam? Yeah, you have one also here.
Hello? Yes? Okay.
You can hear Mariam well?
No?
No? Yeah?
Some people say yes, some no.
Yeah, okay, nice. So I hope you didn't have too much trouble finding an hotel, because you know it's Fashion Week, so it's complicated finding an hotel these days.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah. So what we'll be doing here is speak about Nocode and hear your thoughts about Nocode. So maybe one thing you can start with is introducing yourselves. Just real quick, so the audience, both here physically and online, can get to know you better. Just shortly, maybe who want to start? Mariam?
Thank you, of course. So, hey everyone, and welcome to the conference. Really excited for this. I'm Mariam, one of the founders of Softr. Softr is an easy-to-use yet powerful no-code platform that lets anyone without tech backgrounds build internal tools, customer portals, and almost any type of app using Airtable and other data sources as a backend.
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm Fabian. I'm CEO at Make. For those of you that still don't know what Make is, maybe you have heard of Integromat, so it's formerly Integromat. And we have like a visual approach to no-code and automation. And you will find out a lot more about it today, so not much more introduction needed now.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Emmanuel, one of the 2 founders of Bubble. We started this company 10 years ago now in New York, so it's been quite a ride. And being from Paris originally, it's great that this is happening in Paris. Very happy to be here.
Hi everyone, I'm Francis. I'm CEO and co-founder with Christelle and Thomas of Alegria Group. Alegria Group is a leading European ecosystem about no-code with services, an academy, the first academy for professional makers in the world, and also a marketplace of makers, 250 makers. And we began 18 months ago, and we have 70 employees today working with us.
Great, thank you. Let's start. I would like you, the 4 of you, to describe in one word, only one, what no-code means to you. Who wants to start?
I can start.
Yeah?
I'll say empowerment.
Okay. Fabian?
Democratization?
Yeah. it's to me as well, democratizing engineering genius.
And
Okay.
inclusive for me.
Okay. Well, I think we can see a lot of euphoria these days, more and more people talking and speaking about no-code. In your opinion, why is it happening now? Why is it happening now and now, not 10 years ago? Emmanuel, you
Yeah,
seem ready to answer that one.
I'll start. I think it's basically two reasons. I mean, first of all, the pressure on the software demand is higher than ever, and it's only going to get stronger. Like, software is everywhere, but 10 years ago, if you think back about what our lives looked like, it was much less software-based than it is today. And then think of how the pandemic accelerated everything. And at the same time, the tools finally got somewhere real. Like 10 years ago, you didn't have many tools that would actually let you do real things. Now we're getting there. It's taking a lot of time. That's why, you know, we needed time to get there. But if you put these two things together, that makes us what the no-code movement is today. And it's only the beginning.
Mm.
Yeah, and there's also a new generation of people who arrives in the companies and who for which it's very easy for them to use all the tools we can offer to them. I remember for the people of my age, we mainly used only Word, Excel, and PowerPoint for 30 years now. And when I began to work 30 years ago, when you master PowerPoint, you were just a great guy in a company because your boss in the 90s, they didn't use those tools. So today, when you arrive in a company, you are 25 years old and you can manage Miro, Figma, and all those tools. It's much more easier. So this new generation also of digital natives arriving in the company help also the companies to have a larger stack of tools, and it's make everything much more easier for everyone.
Do you want to answer as well?
I'm a little bit surprised that no one mentioned like the skill gap. I think like there's still like very few people who can actually like code and write code. And I think this will be a huge revolution if more and more people are empowered to actually build new things without having to learn all the like hard coding skills and a lot more soft coding skills. So I think that's probably a big element of it as well.
Yeah, I think everyone answered everything I was going to say. So it's three main things to me, three main really trends. First is technology, tech talent shortage. As Fabian said, there is only 1 out of 400 people in the world that know how to code. It's actually, there's only 200 people in the room, so it's half done. So you'll find half developer in this room. And the technology is just moving so fast and the tech talent cannot keep up. And second, I think it's also the move, the technologies are moving and there is new tools that are coming out every day. So enterprise software has changed the way people work, because before people were just using the tools and do the job that the tool offers, but now they want to do much more because the ways people work is different. They want to adapt the tools to their work. And then the third is the new tech generation, of course, that is growing up. I think our generation, we can consider to an extent also tech savvy, but I think even beyond that, the newer generation that are just growing up in technology, they learn technology from day zero, they build games, they build online stores, and this is just, for them, that's kind of the default. And I think this is that's why I believe that no-code is just really starting up. And in 10 years, we are going to see people writing no-code tools in their CVs versus Excel. And yeah, I think we're just in the beginning of that.
Yeah, and that already happened. We see a lot of resumes and CVs made with Notion, for example. So we can see it's like an evolution also. We are speaking of it now more and more. And do you think it's a natural evolution? It could be avoided? It's like ineluctable?
I can maybe jump. Yeah, so I think coming from a technical background and working as software engineer for more than a decade, in my head, no-code is just really the next evolution of software engineering and how it has been abstracted in the last years with the new tools, with frameworks, libraries, APIs, and no-code is just the next level of abstraction that really abstracts the way the complexities that are behind and now gives access to all of the people that don't even have to write code to build things, and they just have to know what they want to build and describe, just focus on the application logic and what matters, and let the systems do the work for them.
Yes, exactly. It's not possible to coming back because the tools are here now, the skills are here, and the needs, as Emmanuel said, for companies is here. So we are totally convinced at Alegria that all the companies are going to use Nocode's tools. It's just not possible to do another way because we know that for 20 years now, we miss a lot of software developers. But as Airtable said, no, we need software builders, and what we are all going to be is to become software builders, because this is what we really need today. So it's just the beginning of the story. For sure, there's going to be something after the no-code. Perhaps it will be AI or whatever, but you have between 10 to 20 years in front of us for developing those technologies, and it's for sure only the beginning.
But it's also accelerating a trend that probably cannot be sustained forever. There's more and more softwares popping up, and there's more and more applications you have to use, and I think many of you are familiar with the situation that there's too many technologies floating around you that you're supposed to have a user credential for, and that you should be able to log in and share information with others. And I think that's getting more and more challenging, actually, because everyone can build new solutions. So I think also being able to really make the most out of the technologies that then will be floating around, and connecting them in the right way, and really thinking about, okay, what do I really need and how do I make it efficient, will be super important. And no-code can help that too.
You want to add something, or it's good? Everything has been said.
Everything has been said, yeah.
In your opinion, I would like to know, do you think no-code can have an impact more like on people, on society? In which way could it go?
I'll start on that one. I mean, I think we've already covered some of it, like empowering pretty much everyone. I mean, obviously there is the learning curve, but from a hard skill standpoint, there's no barrier anymore for people to create the tools they need. It's pretty extraordinary, In the past, and still today, software is a luxury product. It's a really expensive thing to produce, and therefore is only for people or companies or organizations or areas that can afford it. And I think it's actually a real problem, because turns out software can help solving a lot of problems. It can actually make people's lives better, but we need to reduce the cost of creating software so that it becomes more accessible to everyone. And that's really what no-code is. It's not as a sexy way to describe what the trend is. The sexy way is to say it's empowering everyone. The other way to say it is that it's lowering the cost of creating, an application or a web application by a factor of 100. But it's as powerful, because suddenly you're going to start seeing people, to your point of, more applications being created everywhere. Some of them will not be great, but some of them will actually start tackling a problem that no one else would care about, because the market opportunity of solving it is not real. And that, to me, is a real sad thing of the status quo without no code. And personally, the thing that makes me the most excited about what we're doing is that now I'm starting to see people that are building things to solve their problem, sometimes even at the individual level, that would not be possible otherwise.
And it's also a democratic issue, because when you have only 0.3% of the people in the world who knows how to code, it's really low. And today, I think everyone needs to become an actor of their digital life, and not just a spectator. So if you want to be part of this new journey, be part of the business in the digital industry, if you want to digitalize SMBs at scale, you really need no code. There's no other way of doing this. And again, when you are a startup, you say, in France, we say we try to become a startup nation, but we see also that becoming a startup nation lets a lot of people out of this trend, out of those revenues for people. And if we want to be more inclusive, and if we want to go to catch people who never thought to be part of this digital revolution because they never want to learn how to code, because just keep in mind that most of the people just don't want to learn how to code, because it's just very hard, and it's not funny, and it's difficult. So with the no code, we really open a lot of opportunities to a lot of people, and this is what we are trying to do with Alegria Academy. It's open to everyone, and we don't care about your technical background, and it's possible with no code. So that's what is great, and And I think if you could have 20% of the people who masterize no-code tools compared to the 0.3% of the people who knows how to code, it will really change things in companies.
So it's really about getting more people, and more diverse people coming into tech and software. I'm sorry, but I have to ask this question. But do traditional engineers, developers will lose their jobs because of that?
No.
They won't. Short answer is no. We actually will have more developers, I think, to help build all of these tools and applications. It's just that developers will be focused on more important aspects of application building, the more difficult problems, which right now they have to battle between building tools that their company needs, their core products for customers, bringing value to customers, and at the same time building things that internally people need to be more efficient, to be more faster in their workflows and daily job. So I think that's the part. And also, by the way, as an engineer, it's never fun to work on internal tools. First, because you also have to keep maintaining them, etc., and they never see the light of actual end user customer. And I know many developers that just hate building internal tools. So I think that's really just two parts: empowering more people to start building tools and software, at the same time freeing up engineers to do the actual more important job that they need to do.
Yeah, and I think that developers are also using no-code today to go faster and to have better productivity. So no-code tools are not only for business guys, it's also for tech guys. And I think it's for everyone. So there's no competition between developers or no-code professionals. It's just two ways of doing things. Sometimes it's going faster and it's better to do it with code, and sometimes it's better to do it with no-code. So the question is only to use the right tools at the right time for the right issue you want to process.
Yeah, and I think in general, as you said, you always want to create these things that you're building faster, right? And whether that's by using no-code or even other elements that make a developer faster. I think what's also super interesting is the rise of the GitHub Copilot, for instance, which is really like suggesting code lines to developers, and the adoption is huge. It's going super fast. I think everything that makes building faster will have great adoption.
And in some ways, I think it's one of the most exciting consequences of the no-code emergence, the fact that more no-code platforms exist, is that we're going to start freeing a lot of time from engineers to work on real things. When I see all these food delivery startups, I mean, these are great, but the fact that all of them have engineers behind them, and it's essentially the same product. I mean, they have a different business strategy or a different brand, but effectively what they're selling through the digital app is the same thing. This just makes me sad. There is a big shortage here, and we need to find ways to free these people so that they can work on meaningful things.
Are there any food delivery startup founders?
Well, hopefully they're building on no-code.
So do you think there are still limits about no-code? It could be technical, because we hear a lot of people, mostly who don't know within no-code, who said it's not scalable, you can't do everything with no-code. So what's your opinion on that?
There will always be limits. I'll say two things. First of all, there are limits with traditional code-based technologies. There are always limits, and as you grow, you fix the limits and you improve. And what is true for traditional technologies is also true for no-code. Over the last 10 years, I think we've made Bubble in particular, and the industry in general, a ton of progress in how far you can go. Now things are actually really powerful and can do a lot of things, but we'll definitely keep pushing the limits. The last thing I would say, though, back to Mariam's points about the different layers of abstraction, is that no code will never be at par with code. It's just impossible because it's a high level of abstraction. The good news is for 95% of cases, it doesn't matter. And so let's just use the right tools for the right thing. Our goal is not to replace code entirely. If I were making that statement, I'd be lying. Our goal is to make that people don't use code 95% of the cases, and then again keep the valuable engineering time to work on the 5 remaining % where there is actual value creating code that is written, and for that no code is not pretending to change this.
And maybe to add, I think it's actually a wrong question that's being asked in general in the market, because Nocode, because I think the power of Nocode is not really to replace code, but it's actually, you should ask what use cases and what you are trying to build. In tons of use cases, I would say even most of the use cases, you don't actually want to scale. You don't have the need to scale, especially if you are talking within organizational context or not the fast scaling big products out there, then you don't actually have the problem of scaling. I think it's in the end coming back to really understanding, does your use case need scaling? Is it actually even a relevant question? Because 95% of the software that can be created, as Emmanuel said, I think is most of the people do not, like, they do want to pragmatically solve problems with software, and they don't necessarily want engineering to be their calling. And I think that is what really is the power, is really letting people to do that without worrying about the rest.
For me, the bottleneck of Nocode today is definitely not the tech, because we know exactly what we can do and what we cannot do with the Nocode. The main problem is people, training people. We are 1,000 today for this first ever Nocode Summit. We need to be 5,000 next year if we really want to resolve all the challenges we have in front of us. Just to give you a figure about this, when we launched Alegria Academy, after 5 months, we received more than 6,000 applicants for 70 seats for the first year. So we really need all, with the software publishers, with companies like Alegria, to work together to train more people on the tools. And for instance, when we began the company, we never thought that we could be, it could be so difficult to find good bubblers, for instance, developers to work on complex tools that we are working today, because as we are pushing the limit of the tools, we need also people who knows how to develop on those tools. And it's really the bottleneck for us today. It's really to find people who knows how to use the tools. So we need to train again.
Yeah, so we can see we have big opportunities here, and now one of the stake is to bring more people coming into our industry, into Nocode. Do you see another big stakes in the Nocode in general? More than bringing more people, are there other things that needs to be done, opportunities?
We need to continue to evangelize, of course. This is where we are here all, and thank you for the journalists who came to visit us during those 2 days. Most of the SMBs don't know all the things they could do with all of your tools, and it's crazy. And even for myself, when I discover what the team at Alegria does every day, it's a great surprise to see, wow, how did you do this? I couldn't imagine we could do this with Make or with Bubble and all the other tools. So we really need to give explanation. In the mind of a CEO of an SMB today, they have 2 things in mind. It's ecological transition and digital transition. It's a 2 big things today, and we are part of the digital transition, and we can really help all of them. So we need to continue to explain that Nocode is really a solution. It's not just for doing POC or MVPs. It's real solutions for everyday needs of all the companies.
But maybe not only SMBs. I think any business, no matter which size, can become more agile by using no-code technologies. And I think there's not enough awareness about that. And you mentioned maybe people think it's not scalable enough, but I think these times are over and you can achieve a lot of it already. And that really changes how you iterate over problems and how you adjust to the business challenges, improve customer experience and all of that. And I think that's really a huge opportunity for businesses of all sizes.
I mean, I 100% agree with the education and evangelization aspect. I would say this other thing that we need to work collectively is to prove that no-code technologies are reliable, secure, scalable. And I think we've gone somewhere, but we certainly can go further so that, at any organization, when people are looking at different options, you don't have, this reaction that still comes from time to time, not as much as it used to, 10 years ago, that, oh, this is great, but at some point you will have to migrate to code. Like every time I hear this, it hurts, and I want to change that. And the only way to change that is just to have more examples and more success stories of any kind, whether it's a startup, whether it's a big company using it at scale, using technologies at scale like this, so that people start seeing with their eyes that, okay, this actually can go really far.
Yeah, so it's really about education, evangelization, and reliability.
Yeah, or scalability, reliability.
Scalability also, yeah. So I have one last question for each of you. You both you all lead companies in Nocode. What are the the next steps for each of you? Maybe.
Okay, so for us, it's as you know, we raised money with some investors this summer, and it will help us to continue to develop the company. We have two big things for the next couple of weeks, and something that we really wanted to announce today. The first thing is that we are going to open our capital to all of our makers. We want to share value with them. We have more than 250 makers today, and we know that we cannot do anything without them. So in November and December, we are going to do a crowd equity with 3DGO platform, and it's something that is going to be huge and very important for us to share the value with all the makers. We are working together. The second thing is that we need to continue to partner with all the software editors we are working with. As you know, we are a multi-tool company, working with all of the biggest software editors in the Nocode industry, and we really want to continue to work with you internationally. So we already opened our subsidiary in the US and the UK. We're opening Spain, and we are going to open Germany and Italy also. So we want to go abroad to continue to develop the company from its beginning. And thank you for all the team at Alegria. You made a great job, and we want to continue this way with all of you.
On Bubble's end, it's really about investing in the education and evangelization part, both from a go-to-market standpoint, but also from a product standpoint. Usability is something that, for some time, we spent less time thinking about versus, building a powerful platform. And now we're in a phase where the goal is to really make the platform much easier and accessible, because whenever you make your product easier, you expand, the potential audience and the market. And that's very much the focus for the next couple of years.
Nice. Similarly here, yeah. So I think this year was really focused on scalability, reliability, and also recently security. And then the next year hopefully will be a lot more about more user friendliness, but also shipping a lot more innovation, and really also doubling down on ecosystem around our technology.
And for us at Softr, right now we're considered by the community as one of the easiest no-code platforms to build internal tools and client customer portals. So in the next 2 years, our goal is really to build out the ecosystem around Softr, which means really to open it up to the broader audience beyond just what we can produce as a company. So first, really let people to extend Softr beyond the building blocks we offer, let them build their own components, let them build their own templates and applications, and even sell and monetize those and create businesses around Softr. So really just building out that ecosystem and getting everyone into no-code and building apps.
Nice, so many great things coming. I can't wait for this to happen. So thank you very much. I think we can applaud them a lot. Thanks. You want to add something?
Yes, just one word. Thank you, Christelle, for the opening ceremony. It was great to have you as the president of the SFPN. And just to say that Nocode is also fun, so don't miss the event, the party this evening, all together, because it's also fun.
I was going to say it. It's not over yet. I have some practical. Yeah, I was going to say it, but
great, thank you.
You took me the word of my mouth. So we can see you on the hallways of the summit, and you will also be speakers today and tomorrow. Just before we get to the first conferences, some practical information. So Francis mentioned it, there is the party tonight. It starts at 7 p.m. It's here in the Cloud Business Center. If you don't have it already, there is Swapcard application I highly recommend you download it because you have everything on the SwapCard application. So schedule, networking, meetings, everything is on the app. All the sessions last 45 minutes and have 15 minutes of break, so you can have a break and talk, meet each other. And right now here on the stage, starting at 10, we have David, CEO of Glide, and we have also Wiglot and Influence Society in other room, Udo Tools and WeWeb also at 10. So thank you, and I hope you have a very good Nocode Summit. You enjoy your 2 days.